Hello, my name is Laksmita and I'm an IUP student of Geophysics Engineering ITS. My student number is 0341194200007, and in this video I will explain about Wilson cycle. So first, as you can see here, this is the figure of a simple Wilson cycle. So things as processes these tectonic events in terms of Wilson cycle. There are two phases to the Wilson cycle. The first one is the opening phase and the second one is closing phase. And basically what the Wilson cycle is the opening and the closing of the ocean basin. And then what happens there? It is all part of the process. Okay, next, this is the opening phase of Wilson cycle. So the Wilson cycle begins in stage A with a stable continental craton. And for the best example of this is Africa, which breaking apart from the mainland of Africa. I will write here Africa. And then we go to the beginning, right? We can see here, early rifting here, we have a continent and that's going to break up into two pieces, 1 and 2. This is the only way we have to break up a continent. It becomes the formation of spreading center. So for early rifting, as these pieces break up, it because there is a hot spot here. So there is a hot spot here that rise up under the craton, hitting it, causing it to swell upward, stretch, and our divergent boundaries begin to crack. Okay. And finally, it split into two pieces as in stage B here. Okay, from that we're gonna create a low spot here. This is the low spot. Then the one continent has been separated into two continents, east and west. And a new ocean basin. The ocean basin in this stage is comparable to the Red Sea today. So this is related to, we name it today as Red Sea. So here in our opening phase, we are gonna start to get a small ocean. It would be a very narrow ocean basin because they use just bit connected together. They have currently split apart. As the ocean basin widens, the stretch and thin edges where the two continents used to be joined cool become denser and sink below sea level. And this ocean is going to continue to get wider and wider, as you can see here in figure stage C. And it's gonna get very large and sometimes 2,000 of miles. This is comparable to the Atlantic Ocean today. So this is Atlantic. As long as the ocean basin is opening, we are still in the opening phase of this Wilson cycle. And the Earth doesn't just continue to get larger forever. If we are creating crust somewhere, we have to destroy it somewhere else. Okay, this brings us to the closure of the ocean basin, and that's through the subduction. Subduction here. So the closing phase of the Wilson cycles begins when a subduction zone, the new convergent plate boundary forms. So we learn right here as a continent hits. This is okay. And this is another continent, however, it starts to get subduction anytime. We have an ocean plate here involved. It's always going to subduction. So So the subduction closes our ocean basin. For example, the beginning of a subduction zone is gonna be the Pacific. So this is Pacific. And the Pacific is slowly getting smaller, right? You may heard of the Ring of Fire, right? As it's closing around all the edges, and once the subduction zone is active, the ocean basin is doomed. It will all eventually subduct and disappear. There are remained as ocean remnant. So this is the remnant ocean basin. Most of the remnant ocean basin has subducted and the two continents are about to collide. Now we are going to start to close the secondary plate here. This is the secondary plate here. And now we have a very narrow, small, skinny ocean. As you can see here in the stage E. Okay, maybe I change the color here. Okay, the good example of this stage is Mediterranean. So Mediterranean completely closing up, it's getting very narrow and very skinny. And so eventually we are gonna get the two continents separated in the stage A and B before now become colleague. You can see here. Okay, in stage F. So in stage F, the remnant ocean basin is completely subducted. Technically, the closing phase of the Wilson cycle is over because the subduction zone acts as a ramp. The continent with the subduction zone slides up over the edge of the continent without it. And the great example of this is Himalaya. Okay, so in the last stage G is mountains eroded to sea level and the tectonic stability again. Okay, I think that's all for me. That's all for my explanation. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.